Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Urban Legends, the light-hearted weekly look at urban legends and other similar topics. I'm Chris Flynn, and I'm an influencer. And with me is another influencer, Mr.
Neil Herbert. I don't really know how to do that duck face thing.
Do you not?
No,
Oh, look pretty
my
good.
face doesn't want to look any more awful
So the thing is,
or beautiful. I don't know.
over the last
Take your pick.
beautiful, like gorgeous turkey drummers. Whoa, beautiful, like delicious turkey twizzlers. Beautiful,
I think
like
Bernard Manning got off on Turkey a little bit too much, to be honest. Bernard Manning? What was it? Well, the
yeah, it was Bernard
Turkey
Manning
man.
and yeah, Bernard
Yeah, he
Matthews.
probably liked him. Bernard Matthews, that's the one.
No, he wouldn't have liked him. He would
They
have.
still sell those? I feel
Yeah,
like
you
we've had this
can. Yeah,
conversation before.
yeah. You can get all kinds of new ones like turkey mini Kiev bites, beautiful, like that
Oh,
kind of
nice.
stuff. You've got to go to Iceland to get them, of
That's,
course.
yeah.
But you can get.
Don't
I
do
quite
them in
like.
Tesco's petrol station, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you say Tesco. It's not Tesco's petrol station. It just says
That's
John's
that man
petrol
by the
station
petrol.
with the
Yeah.
P's are the wrong way around,
Selling me off brand meat. Yeah.
which could mean that he can't spell, or it could mean like maybe he's Russian or something. Neil,
Yeah.
are
Well,
you
no,
currently
it's
working
like
for the Russian state?
the scammers, isn't it? They deliberately misspell their emails to try and draw
Try and
in the
get in your head.
yeah.
I can do my influencer. Now, it's going very well, by the way. My
Is
influencing.
it? Are you influencing much?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of
Yeah, you
influencing on
blowing
it.
up on the
I'm blowing up. I'm blowing up.
yeah with all your Riz.
I've got a lot of traction. I've got a lot of
Yeah,
motion, as they say, with my Riz.
awesome.
So how I've got into it is over the last couple of years. You may have noticed, or maybe not, because it's like
I haven't got
frog.
an eye for these things. Yeah,
It's like a frog boiling in a pot kind of
yeah,
situation. But my laughter lines, which are the ones that go from your nostrils to the sides of your mouth,
yeah.
are getting quite deep now as I'm getting older, producing a kind of flesh beak kind
Yeah,
of formation. So that gives me
yeah. You sort of become more and more like the penguin. Yeah.
become more like the pig. Yeah, and I'm starting to shrink as well due to age as
When I
well.
get to like series 4 or whatever, you go, lads, don't bother slathering that guy on all that makeup. It's just
Do you want to hear some?
in and out in 2 minutes. Just a bit of lippy.
That's it. Just a bit of
Put a comb through the hair. I'm ready to go.
go for a horse bath. I just washed myself in the sink. Yeah, that's all good for the new series of the Penguin, which I'm
Which
now
probably never
apparently.
happening. Yeah.
No, is there a series of it? Oh, there was
Yeah,
that.
Colin Farrell did a. It was quite
Oh,
good
right, yeah,
actually. Yeah,
yeah. I sort of vaguely heard
I don't
about
think
it.
they're doing a second one. I don't know.
No, of course not. Why would you? People
Yeah,
liked it.
pointless. Yeah,
People like to get
yeah.
rid.
Ended on a really thrilling cliffhanger. It's
Yeah, get
cancelled,
rid.
yeah.
Get rid. Do you know what we're gonna do,
What's
right?
it doing here? It's
Now
really
that we
successful. People,
now that we've destroyed terrestrial
Bezos does not like.
now we've destroyed terrestrial television, so there's no money in it, so they can't make any good programs. We're gonna thumb our noses even more at our viewers by
Nice.
constantly bringing out a series which is really good, end on a cliffhanger, and then just chuck it in the bin. Because what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Watch BBC Three doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so my influencing's going well. I've got my new t-shirts, which say dark woke on them. They're going
Oh,
well. Uh Tom Hiddleston's got one. So that's
nice.
good, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
good.
it's not too bad at all.
That's good.
Everyone likes Tom Hiddleston, I hear.
They do like him, do they?
Four quadrant. He seems to be quite popular.
Oh, I don't like him.
Do you know? Oh, okay.
No. No, he's one of
Well,
those
you're ever the contrarian, aren't you?
No, I just don't like that, all the like
What's wrong with
now
Tom Hiddleston?
he's one of the Eton posh
Oh,
boys
here we go.
who went
Can't help that, can he? It's not his
yeah, he
fault.
can. Well, no,
Couldn't
but
they
I
go
mean,
back
no,
in
it's not
time,
his
Alan
fault.
Lockie, and
It's not his
become working
fault.
class?
It's not his fault.
Yeah.
But what I
Ever
would
considered it's twice as hard for people who've gone to Eton?
with
Yeah, they've got to
that-
work twice as hard.
yeah, I mean they have to practice on in a school theatre, which is like bigger than the National Theatre.
Yeah.
No, but I would say that he's probably been helped with the thinning out of the acting profession from anyone who isn't independently wealthy to start
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, there is a problem with that, but yeah, I don't
Where's the new Bob Hoskins gonna come from?
it's the point.
Eh?
This is the
Is it
point.
you, Neil? Are you the new Bob Hoskins? I think you could
I'm
be.
a avuncular, yeah.
You're pretty
Getting
avuncular,
thrown
aren't you?
into it, yeah.
You don't. You like. We both like doing sort of Cockney
Pseudo
slash
Cockney accent, yeah.
Brightonian
Yeah.
accents. I reckon
Like a
you'd
bit of
be. I
Motley.
reckon you'd be all right. So if you're listening, Hiddleston, here's your chance to.
Yeah. Think
Here's your
making a
chance.
new Mona Lisa or something.
Yeah.
Sort of cow, aren't I?
You could, if you listen, and if you want to improve yourself in the eyes of the working man,
Yeah. We'll buy your
maybe
way
you
into
may
heaven,
buy your way into heaven, yeah, that kind of thing.
aka the
By your
Weatherspoons on North Street.
yeah. Then maybe you could get Neil a role as the new Bob Hoskins
Yeah.
in whatever your next film is, like low key
And one of
and
his good films, though, I mean, something like, Long Good Friday. I don't really want the show. I don't really like the Mario
Neil,
Brothers
you're not in
bit.
a you're not in a strong negotiating
Yeah, no,
position.
that's
I'm going
true.
to be honest.
And then to be fair, if it was Mario Brothers money, then yeah, I'll take that.
Oh yeah, he could be Luigi, couldn't he? Because he looks
Yeah.
nice and green when he's dressed as
Yeah,
Loki.
see, it'd be good, but yeah, there you go.
And you could be it could be Mario.
No, they're fine and perfect.
Oi,
Oh,
oi,
Mario, you
I'm
come.
Mario. Oi, someone needs
Come to
their
lay some
pots
pipe.
cleaning.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that?
What's wrong? No,
If you could stick to the
Mr.
script,
Herbert, Mr. Herbert, we love your energy,
yeah.
Neil.
A few
This is
notes.
great. We really love it. But like if you could try and stick to the script, because it's really important in this scene that you show that the MacGuffin of the movie is going to be Bowser, and how he's trying to take over the local reservoir. Okay, now action. Oi, oi! Oi,
Oh,
oi,
look, there's Joanna. Let's go over it,
oi.
Chaz and Dave.
Stick the kettle on,
Yeah.
darling. Roll it, the
How to keep
barrel.
this bouncer twat waiting.
Lovely. So Neil, that's our careers.
That's sorted out. Nice
It's a
one.
flying start. You as the new,
Yeah.
and me as
The influencer. Yeah.
so. So,
Good.
also, I'd just like to say,
Plenty of that. More than
just like
enough.
I'd just like to say to the hilarious, because this is just funny at this point,
Go on.
hilarious YouTube algorithm that this is a light-hearted, anti-comedy podcast,
Yeah.
essentially, not on purpose. That's just
It's
who
just
we
how
are,
we are. It's just our natural home.
and and I can't stress enough how little the Atari landfill episodes was interfering in either British or American elections, neither of which are for
I'd like
4 years.
I'd like to
And
see how.
we didn't even mention any politics.
I mean,
So,
that did feel like a really kind of like neutral topic.
mhm. Is it because we were critical of capitalism?
That's exactly what it is, isn't it?
You're not
Yeah.
allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think when I read out
Remember when
Das
things used to
Kapital
get
for
better?
3 hours, that was a problem for people.
Remember those 4 years between 97 and 2001 where we thought things were literally getting a bit better?
Well, like the pop song, yeah. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, sounds like it.
Oh, and it did, didn't it? Until
And it was only for the keyboardist from that band. That was what we didn't realise.
well,
Satan
yeah.
was like, for one person only, mission for one. He become a famous TV astrophysicist. The rest of you
Yeah, he was.
fucked.
I've seen him interviewed back then, and he was thick as shit. He barely he could barely spell his own
String two
name.
sentences together.
So I reckon
Something happens, Chris. That's all I'm saying.
I reckon he's like Blazing Squads. He's met someone at the crossroads.
Yeah.
I reckon like Blazing Squad, not like Bone Thugs and Harmony. They copied it off of
Fair
Blazing
enough.
Squads, of course. So Neil, today.
I think that particular metaphor might have been used in a few blues songs from way back in the day, but anyway.
Absolutely not. That was
No.
Blazing
Completely
Squad.
original.
Blazing Squad
Yeah.
did it. Then Bone Thugs and Harmony, and then some like blues singer guy went and did
Was
it.
Blazing Squad spelt with a G, or did they miss off the G to make it more like
I
a
think it was just.
blazing? Yeah. Do
I think it with an apostrophe.
you think it was a reference to weed? They were blazing blunts or something?
Could be.
like such
Could
a
have been,
narc.
couldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you are a narc. Oh yeah. Oh, were they taking the
Oh,
marijuana?
any of you
pills?
gentlemen got any?
I bet they
Mary
were
Jane?
getting high on their
Just-
pot spliffs.
Want some smokes? No, I don't. I'm not a cop. What are you talking about?
Oh, I tell you what, it sounds like there's reefer madness going on in East London again. That's what you're like. So today,
I'm gonna
we
head around the
are
cable a little bit more.
no
It's good visual for watchers.
people like well, they got to see my
They find it
sweet
endearing.
my sweet biceps.
Yeah,
It's what people are into these days, Neil. Biceps and triceratopses.
fair enough.
Those are two other things I'm
Two only
influencing.
things that they
This t-shirt, which Hiddleston's got, which is weird because he's the biggest name, and I've had a massive go at him. So I'm not a salesman.
no.
That's for sure. But he's from one of them posh schools, so he probably quite likes it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Like
he
people,
likes like being spanked and that, innit?
yeah, that's all that,
The
isn't it?
voice on Glay, yeah.
Yeah,
He likes it when you talk a bit rough.
yeah. Talk a bit right.
Yeah.
Oh, Hiddleston.
Tell me I've been naughty again. Dirty
Hiddleston.
little
I'm
quib.
gonna give you a paddling. Get me a thick birch.
Right.
So today, speaking of thick
What
birch,
is today about? What's yeah.
we are going to talk about the Houston Batman.
Oh.
So I don't think he's a superhero,
Because that
but
immediately puts me in mind of
mm, like
yeah,
Batman in a Stetson
yeah.
and a pair of chaps.
That must have happened at some point.
Batman in a Stetson and a pair of
Golden Age
chaps.
comics, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Arseless chaps.
He's here to strike break.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, don't worry, billionaire Bruce Wayne has flown in to check out his oil concerns. And apparently, some of the Chinese are asking for a bit more money. So,
Oh.
diddle-diddle-doo, um, cool. Right. So, I'm going to start off by reading the actual original newspaper clipping.
There's
All
a
right.
newspaper, so this implies that there was a real incident,
It
unlike so many
appears.
of these things.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't just hearsay and like from some Reddit
No.
article.
No, this is from newspapers.com. So
So
and
what's the
that's by
newspaper?
ancestry.
Okay, but which newspaper is this? Do we know what it's from?
The Lubbock Morning Avalanche.
Okay,
Lubbock.
sounds
Lubbock, maybe.
yeah, Lubbock. Don't know.
Lubbock.
Okay,
So
I mean you're saying that quite confidently. I'm not sure
yeah,
that
I am
means
because I've
correct.
heard of it. I've heard Lubbock
Okay,
before.
fair
But
enough.
it might have been unrelated. It could be like I don't know, a Swiss chocolate.
Well, I couldn't pronounce Arkansas famously, not
Would
famously
you,
in my head. Yeah,
or Kansas.
Kansas, as I was calling it. Yeah,
There is actually a place called Arkansas though, so maybe that's part of the confusion.
that could yeah it could
It
be.
also it's spelt weirdly.
I mean, that's my defense.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd heard of Arkansas, but then put two and two together. Anyway,
My
no need
mum's
to rehash
learning
that.
learning Irish,
Oh,
learning
nice.
learning
On
Irish
Duolingo?
on Duo, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because basically, like as we know, none of it's phonetic. Like
Yeah.
basically all like the letters and stuff mean nothing. And when I was talking to mum about this,
Although the
is
English
that
language is a bit mad like that as well.
no, but I
Mm.
think that perhaps it's because when it's anglicized or when it's written down. I think it's in the same way that there are certain speech patterns and stuff that Irish people took up
Yeah.
in order so that the English didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, right? And I think that could be the case with the spelling versus pronunciation thing with Irish, the English spelling versus the Irish
Yeah, you never
pronunciation.
know.
It would make sense, wouldn't it, if you didn't
It's
want
possible.
people?
I mean, I think there was a point in time when our printing presses and stuff came out because people used to spell things in all sorts of different ways depending
Mm.
on regional dialects, and then basically somebody just decided this was the way we were going to go, and it just became kind of the accepted
Mm.
standard.
I think that might have been it. So when they were printing pamphlets or whatever, then the English couldn't really understand what they
Yeah,
what they
fair
meant.
enough.
Could be, couldn't it?
It's possible.
Like a secret code
Nice.
to thumb
New
your
Jersey,
nose at the oppressors.
Gaelic decoder ring. Okay, yeah.
So Houston residents cite Batman on tree perch in yard. Oh, it's going to be
Oh,
another owl in it.
yep.
Okay.
Owl or weather balloon.
So Houston, I'm going to move it to
Is it an
this.
owl with mange?
Should be. So Houston June 18th. Up 5 persons, all of whom live in the same house, complained to police that they saw a combination of Superman and Captain Midnight perched in an oak tree outside their home early Thursday and said that he disappeared in the light of a mysterious rocket and a second aerial display.
I mean, didn't he just?
So they are
What's
going
between
for the super.
Superman and? Because Batman would
The
have been a going
Captain
thing.
Midnight
Who's Captain Midnight? Don't know. Not familiar enough with.
didn't stick Captain Midnight.
No. I mean, you think Batman would be there as a reference because he was around in the 40s, wasn't
Yeah, probably.
he? Yeah. I know Superman was Second World War era. He created him. I
Right.
think it was about the same time.
So police said they were investigating the stories, but admitted they were not equipped to handle such phenomena as the 5 persons described.
This is why they now
we'll do
come
what we
with.
can, but we're not equipped.
Yeah, see, that's why you've got to, arm the police with. You don't want to go back to these days where they can't deal with Batman.
When,
That's why they
oh,
need military grade equipment.
when, and the answer is probably in about 6 months.
See,
Well,
nowadays, it would just go and flatten that house with a Sherman tank, not a problem.
when
The heroes they are.
when will the American government finally release the X-Men style Sentinels
Yeah,
upon the population to get this
it's a
kind of
problem
thing
waiting
under
to happen.
control? It's a problem where it's so easy just to
Just
nip it in the
sleepwalking
bud.
into it, aren't we?
Ugh. I mean, not so much here, but yeah, over there they
Yeah.
certainly are. So, Miss Hilda Walker, 23, accompanied by her husband Lloyd, was the first to report the affair to authorities.
Ooh.
A shadow settled in the tree. She said it was 2:30 a.m. and because it was so hot, her husband, the 14-year-old daughter of the landlady, and herself were all sitting on the porch
Nice.
when the entire yard seemingly wrapped in a heavy
Lord, it is
shadow.
balmy evening.
Ooh, hey, I'm the vapors.
Genuine, who's the pop baller?
Oh,
This is genuine slang.
Miss Neil, please go and get me a mint julep. All of us,
Exactly how it happened.
all of a sudden, and a record rips.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the shadow settled in the tree, she said. We all looked up and saw a Batman. He was balancing himself on the tree limb, and there was a dim grey light all around him.
Ooh.
She said the creature was about 6.5 feet tall, big lad, wearing a black cape and skin tight dark pants, quarter length boots, and he looked like a white man.
So it sounds very much like Batman thus far.
It just sounds like someone's dressed up
Yeah,
and gone in their tree. Like
something to do, innit?
bit of peeping,
Got to have a hobby. Yeah.
nice bit of peeping.
If you're gonna go have a bit of voyeur in, then
Mm.
dress up as Batman. You got an excuse.
Yeah, you could
And you might be able
say
to use a cape to escape.
use the cape to escape. You could
Little,
say
little, little,
you could say I thought I heard crime.
yeah,
And, I'm not only a Batman vigilante, but I'm a billionaire. So I'm doubly trustworthy.
exactly. Yeah,
I don't think someone who isn't trustworthy would end up with billions of pounds, even though,
precisely.
yeah, but Bruce, you inherited it when your pet and your family died, didn't you? No, they might have left a bit of it, I suppose, but, I earned most of it.
Still
That's
got
what
to
he'd say.
retain. Still got to retain it.
Hey, Neil, do you know what?
To give it to a feckless fucker like us, would have lost it by the Tuesday.
Yeah, I would have done something stupid like fed loads of orphans and
Yeah,
that.
twat.
Oh, God. And what
Hey,
are they going to do? If you feed them now, you've got to feed them later.
exactly. Teach them to fish. That's what you got to do.
But don't,
Something like
teach
that.
them teach them to fish. But don't teach them to fish. Just kind of hope they learn to fish.
Yeah. Teach them to be
This is
satisfied
this
with minimum
it's
wage jobs.
it's this kind of pin code talk that keeps getting us banned.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck's sake, you think we'd learn? Oh, then we go swearing as well. Oh,
Bollocks! I sound like cunt in Stalin. There you go. I bet this one will get through. It makes no sense. I get, and at least, and he was a white man as well. I could see him plainly and could see that he had big wings folded at his shoulders, she said. Oh, so actual
It's
wings.
better for flying into your tree.
Walker
Grandmother.
and Walker and young Judy Myers, daughter of Mrs. Vivian Myers, agreed in all respects. A mysterious white light. They said after the Batman perched in a tree a few moments. Oh, they say after the Batman perched in a tree a few moments while they sat paralyzed and watched, a mysterious white flame and smoke shot from behind him like a burning object, like a flying paintbrush scooted across the horizon, and the Batman faded from view.
Oh,
It's
good
weird, isn't
trick, isn't
it?
it?
It's quite strange.
He had some phosphorus in his utility belt, I think. A smoke bomb
Hmm.
covering his escape.
Mrs. Meyer said she'd gone home just in time to see the flying paintbrush scoot across the sky, and another roomer, aged 71, said he saw the weird shadowy fellow in the tree, although he said he merely went back into bed.
They've been drinking shine
Ugh.
all night, do you reckon?
I'm almost
Flying
certain.
paintbrush now? With Batman, fair enough. The flying paintbrush is what's tipped me off.
I mean, it sounded a bit like the Mothman, isn't it?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
this stuff going on.
Let's hope well, does he hang around natural disasters? That's what we're gonna ask ourselves.
I mean,
That's what the Mothman
have
got
you
off on,
seen
didn't he?
Houston lately?
Oh, oh.
And the Walkers agreed it couldn't have been their imagination and said they were so upset that they were thinking about returning to Bryan, where they had only moved from 3 months ago now. So there's your initial paper.
They moved to Houston from Brighton, and that's Brighton near
Bryan,
Brian.
literally
Oh,
spelled like Brian May
oh right.
or no, with a Y. Brian with a
Yeah,
Y.
yeah, yeah.
Brian Connolly. Britain's greatest son.
Yes.
So now I'm going to go to the crypto wiki about the Houston Batman.
So just
And
to sum up that newspaper article,
yeah,
then they saw a Batman sitting in a tree. He didn't really do nothing, and then a flying paintbrush came out, and then he disappeared. In
yeah,
a sort of stream of light. Fair
yeah.
enough.
But I mean,
That's
it
all right.
would,
Well, yeah, no, it's just the first witness. It's
but it'd spook you out, wouldn't it?
yeah, it will certainly spook me out. 2:30 in the morning. It's hot. Can't get to sleep.
So you've been drinking all night.
Yeah, drinking meth tulips.
You've been on the old track and sniffing the old
Yeah.
tractor fuels.
Oh, a few 8 balls. Keep me up.
Well, you've got to balance out the
Oh,
tractor
this
fuel.
heat. Oh,
Tractor fuel makes you sleepy. The 8
yeah.
ball allows you to take more tractor fuel.
Yeah, it's just trying to get that balance in the middle.
Just got to try and get the
No one's
balance.
perfect.
No one's perfect. And, if you don't try, then you,
Just
you
keep
don't
practicing.
start trying, do you?
Exactly.
So, so let's see what cryptidzoology.fandom.com has to say, Neil.
Oh, I'd like to know.
One of our wonderful
One of our most
sources.
trusted sources. Yeah.
Very
A bit back in the
trusted.
14 times. Yeah.
And the Three Angels Network.
Oh, good lord, yes.
Houston Batman. One of the iconic sightings of a mysterious creature in the UFO era, that of the so-called Houston Batman, was made on June 18th, 1953. Hilda Walker, Judy Myers, and Howard Phillips saw a man with wings like a bat sitting in the branches of a nearby tree watching them. After a few moments, there was a light display and the Batman was gone. The story is a classic in the annals of UFO encounters and associated creature sightings, and is dealt with in full in Ken Gerhard and Nick Redford's Monsters of Texas.
So they've
Every
got this.
monster's bigger in Texas.
Yeah. So they've got this down as a UFO then. So they're thinking
Mhm.
he sort of like rode off into a come down and have a little look as a,
I don't know. I
a
don't
troop.
know. I don't know if UFO technology means they have to ride off now. I think that their technology is different to us.
Well, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? I think what you're doing there is you're thinking very small, my friend.
Well, no, because didn't they say in the annals of ufology?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, there
but
you go.
but it doesn't mean he flew off, and it doesn't. You're thinking of UFO as like a craft, man. It's a state of mind.
It could be an unidentified flying Batman. Fair enough.
No, I mean like the UFO phenomena doesn't necessarily like it's not like UFO lands and then they pick up their luggage and get on, and then it could just be like teleporting or whatever,
Okay,
like with the stars and the treks.
fair enough.
This story is and Lauren Coleman's Mysterious America, where it's dealt with in connection to the likewise iconic Phantom attacker, the British bogeyman known as Spring-Heeled Jack, who
We covered him
we've
many years ago.
and
Say many years ago, a few years
and
back.
we came to a thorough conclusion.
Posh twat.
Posh trap, yeah,
Out in the town, annoying people.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
proto Bullington Club member.
Yeah, absolutely. It turns out the likening to Jack and other phantom attackers may be particularly apt. The Lubbock Evening Journal for May 22nd, 1953 bore the headline Phantom Attacker Strikes in Full View of Two Officers.
Oh, okay. So
Yep.
he's up in his game now.
Yeah.
First sit in
He's
a tree, then escalate into attacks. Okay, let's
in
see what
front of the
happens there.
police as well.
Doesn't even
Bad
fear
boy.
the
He's a bad
police.
boy, isn't he?
Doesn't fear 5-0. Yeah, couldn't
Fair
give a
five,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
The article told the story of Betty Lee Jameson, a young woman who was walking on Richmond Avenue when a man lunged from a crowd, knocked her to the ground, and fled with four men in pursuit. I think it's just a robbery.
I mean, so
Two,
far, so yeah.
two policemen and two men coming out of a nearby bar. The man still escaped. Oh, how? Two drunk men after him. Oh. Frank Murray of the Houston Police Department told newspapers that it was the 13th such attack in the space of a year.
Whiskey Jack.
Whiskey Jack. I could find no references to the early attacks. Perhaps some of the other intrepid CFZ members could, however. The Mexia Daily News on June 12th, only a week before the sightings of the Batman, reported another attack. This time,
Ooh,
a woman was pulled bodily from a car. It's rough. Again, the attacker fled. And still, the attacks came even after the sighting of the man in the tree. There's someone dressed like some nutter dressed up in it.
very different MOs. This is some not. So presumably they these attacks the match description of the one in the tree.
So, are they different MOs? Are they? Because
I don't know, just
a
sitting in a
woman
tree and then
being.
disappears versus dragging
Mm,
someone out of a car,
but was it just like this bloke sitting in a tree because there was a young woman in the house?
scoping it out, waiting for some grabbing
And then,
opportunities. Yeah, it could be.
yeah, he was maybe waiting for see if she was left alone on the porch or something.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah,
other two attacks
yeah.
are on women, aren't
Yeah,
they?
didn't expect that they'd get him in his two in the morning surveilling.
That's it.
Could be, could be.
On May the 7th, 1954, the Galveston Daily News reported that an attack had taken place only 2 days before this, but it was dealt with in no more than a passing manner. Once again, I could find no references to the intervening time, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. It's true.
Fair
Just,
enough. Yeah,
just because there's no
just
record
because
of
there's
it,
absolutely no tangible evidence doesn't
no,
mean it
it
didn't
doesn't mean it
happen.
doesn't exist now.
Yeah,
Just asking questions.
yeah.
Regardless, on May the 6th, 1954, an underwear-clad man described as a prominent Houstonian, um, superintendent of Houston Hospital, was arrested and charged with indecent exposure and vagrancy after police received several calls that he was driving around town fully in the nudes.
I'm Batman.
Woo! Hey, if you haven't driven news, then
There we go.
don't knock it.
Yeah,
To this, he
very
admitted that
freeing.
it is very freeing, especially the cold air
Mm.
and the undercarriage.
You want to have the old windows rolled down,
Windows rolled down, music right up.
well rolled up. Yeah,
Yeah. Hello, ladies. Stench coming out of the car. To this, he admitted, but he denied having any involvement to the Houston attacks when questioned. In true Fortean tradition, though, I'm gonna guess the saga of the attacker came to an end there, whether or not the man was actually responsible. In the El Paso Herald Post on April 13th, 1953, carried a story of another attacker described as a black man who robbed and attacked women and in one case murdered in the vicinity of Waco. Not quite sure what this has to do with it.
Mhm.
This very well may have been a criminal of the more conventional type, as the one in Houston may have been. But I mention it in regards to report that he flashed a light in his victims' faces, a typical spring heel activity. What are you talking
I
about?
mean,
Typical
we
spring
seem
heel
to have gone
activity?
off of the
The boil?
yeah, we seem to have gone off of the Batman theme and more. Well, for a start, he keeps banging on about Spring Heel Jack.
Yeah. Wait,
So it's like,
who?
well, Batman's kind of like Spring Heel Jack, and then this guy did something that was a bit like Spring Heel Jack, but not that much. It's more shining a light Jack than the Spring Heel Jack. I mean,
Whether,
if he jumped 20 foot to his escape, then
yeah,
that'd
rather
be like
than
Spring
just
Heel Jack.
rather than just
rather than
like
just
flash a torch,
murdering somebody with a flashlight.
flash. Yeah.
They had a flashlight. Let's join the dots.
Yeah, a lot of people have
Compelling evidence.
a lot of people have suggested that this car, which was parked on this railroad crossing, was destroyed by a train. But the driver on the phone clearly said that he was being blinded by lights just before the accident. So we
That
think it
sounds like a
could be.
Batman. We think
It's typical
I
Spring
can't
Hill
prove it, but
activity.
it sounds like Batman activity to me. Yeah.
Whether the Houston phenomenon truly explains away the Batman remains to be seen. At the very least, it should establish that a mindset of fear existed amongst Houston's residents at the time. It is likely the explanation for why there were several witnesses to a Batman. Or it may suggest there is a much, much more to the Batman story than one isolated sighting.
I think he's cobbled together a load of random encounters and just
Yeah.
pinned them onto the Batman thing. I'm not seeing any connections, but there we go.
So
It's a
I'm gonna
reach.
I'm gonna have a little look at Eyewitness News,
Got it.
which is by ABC. So that's
Oh, prestigious.
big, isn't it? It's big.
Or big at least, yeah.
Big. Houston
Big will do.
Batman. Big will do.
I mean, it's
Remain.
Houston after all.
Yeah, well, Houston's a big city now.
Yeah.
Very big
Damn
city.
right. You're goddamn right, Chris.
Yeah, goddamn right. It's what it's a bit crazy, isn't it? That like, so you got your New York,
Yep.
right, next to the water, right?
Yeah.
You got your LA,
Yeah.
sort of next to the water.
Yeah.
So
Bit of a desert, bit of on the coast.
you got your Chicago, right, next to the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Then you've got your Houston and you've got your Phoenix. Not next. Houston, not too far from the water, but Phoenix, middle of the desert.
Mm,
Like, what are you doing? Why would you build your fifth biggest city in the middle of a desert?
why not?
Because there isn't the water to supply it.
It's fine. Just divert it or something at a massive expense.
But I mean, but the aquifers nearly run out now.
Yeah. Fucking aqua for me. Get it done.
All right. Doesn't matter. I'll be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So Houston, Texas. Bigfoot, the Chupacabra, and the Loch Ness Monster. They're all creatures of law that have captivated mankind for centuries. I'm not sure the Chupacabra has for centuries.
No. Quite sure it hasn't.
No, it's literally the 60s.
Last, yeah. 50, 60
And
years.
yes, and it
Whatever.
was just an insurance scam. But did you know that Houston and a sick dog?
Yeah.
Did you know
No, the
that,
dog with mange.
did you know that Houston had a legend of its own? It's been
In
65.
no way is anywhere near as good as even Chupacabra, let alone. Don't come over that Nessie. Get the fucker.
Oh no.
Stick it. Get in your fucking lane.
It's pathetic, isn't it?
That's just embarrassing. It's just fucking
Like,
embarrassing.
haven't you got enough? Haven't you got enough already? You 4% of the world's population use up a third of its resources. Like, can we not just have like we've got a better
Nope.
monster?
Algorithms just triggered.
Oh dear. Um. Oh, they've just sent out a CIA snatch squad.
Yeah.
But did you know that Houston has a legend of its own? Perhaps bigger than the Nessie. It's been 65 years since several Houstonians reported a terrifying encounter in Batman in Bayou City. While most people are heading home, others gather for a different purpose to catch a glimpse of something hidden in the shadows. You can just kind of see the awe on their faces when the bats come out en masse, said Suzanne Jurek, a zookeeper of the Houston Bat Specialist.
Nice.
The bats of Walker Street Bridge are just getting up. It's a colony of 250,000, and every one of them is a nocturnal hunter.
Nice.
They fly for miles and they eat. It's just all about the food, Jurek said. The most notorious reporting of a flying humanoid is one of the Houston Batman. Professional cryptozoologist Ken Gerhard said. This tale takes us back into Houston.
Good money
in the
being a
50s.
cryptozoologist, Ken? I imagine not.
I'd imagine it probably. I mean,
Dunno.
it probably is now. Probably more money in that than like being an author.
Yeah, that's true. You'd be an author in this day and age.
AI,
Penury. Yeah, it's true.
got your AI books, printing AI books for AIs to read to learn.
Dan Brown, he does all right, doesn't he?
Dan,
Well, not in a literary sense, obviously, but
not in any sort of creative
financially,
capacity.
yeah. Not by any metrics of good literature, but in a financial,
Hey, Neil, look, we all need toilet books.
Yeah.
Um, in case you run out of paper. The tale takes us to that's what Dan Brown will get us.
Made a
That's
couple of perfectly good mediocre movies out of them. What's wrong with that?
yeah. There was the Da
Don't
Vinci
like fun.
Code and National Treasure, wasn't there?
Yes.
This
Yeah.
tale takes us back to Houston in
And Bachelor
1950.
Party with Tom
Bachelor
Hanks.
Party. Tom Hanks, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Porky's.
Yeah.
When it was a boomtown bursting at the seams.
Oh,
It was 2:30, June 18th, 1953, in the Houston Heights. Three neighbors claimed they saw something extraordinary. Hours later, the unearthly encounter was front page news in the Houston Chronicle. There is only one account that I'm aware of, and it's a very chilling encounter, God says. Subsequently, there was so horrified by the experience that they contacted local police. The Houston Chronicle article detailed the encounter. Hilda Walker was a 23-year-old housewife, and the two of her neighbors were sitting down on the front porch. It was suddenly Hilda noticed a large shadow moving across the lawn.
actually understand the word you're saying, but that's fine.
And it was then that they could make out his form. One of the witnesses, Howard Phillips, took a tool. One of the witnesses, Howard Phillips, a tool plant inspector, told me
Okay.
that good. Told the
Yeah.
Houston Chronicle, I could hardly believe it, but I saw it. All three of the witnesses had similar description of what they saw. Appeared to be, well, we know what he looked like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we asked graphic designer Michael Charles what he thinks the Batman may have looked like.
Just make some shit up. Yeah.
It's a strong
Well, if
article.
I were put
Well,
me
if
on the
I'd seen
spot, if
it,
I'd seen it, it would have looked a
yeah.
little bit like this.
Given the quality, no, what's given the qualities of a bat, slender frame, broad shoulders, Charles said, when you see it, you freeze in your tracks and can't move.
Fair enough.
And that's all the stun looker said they could do, just freeze. Um, our automated response when we're startled or afraid is to freeze up. The deer in the headlight effects, said Dr. Peter Norton, an associate professor of psychology and director at the University of Houston's Anxiety Disorder Clinic.
Mm.
They literally phone around anyone.
Yeah. What would you do if you were attacked by Batman? I mean, if I had to put you on the spot, well, I mean, you can have a fight, flight, or freeze
Firefly
response, I
thing,
suppose.
yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about fight or flight as the dominant response, but really it's more a fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
They say the mysterious
Just
figure
repeating a
lingered.
bit of psychology that we've all heard of before. Brilliant.
Yeah, well, this is why he's
So they
the
roped an expert in to
this,
confirm that.
this is why he's the director of University of Houston's Anxiety Disorder Clinic.
Yeah.
He said the mysterious figure lingered for about 30 seconds or more.
Clearly having a quiet day. Hope there aren't any fucking
Yes.
anxious people about.
There's no, I mean, I
Yeah,
doubt
not
there's,
doing group therapy
I wouldn't
this
have thought
afternoon,
there's,
doctor. No,
I wouldn't have thought there's
got the
many
Houston Chronicle on them.
I wouldn't have thought
What has
there's many,
anyone in Houston got
I
to
wouldn't have thought
be
there's many
worried
anxious
about?
people in America. What are you talking
No,
about? Like with
there's
open
gonna be a
open
surfeit
carry
of
and all that
guns
kind of
around or anything
stuff.
like that.
um,
We just got flagged again.
then suddenly a beam of light began to fade out and the figure vanishes, Gerhardt said. The details of the Houston Batman may be uniquely 50s, but the story is not. The flying humanoid phenomenon dates back millennia, Gerhardt said.
Okay.
Gerhardt is finishing a book on the subject, has tracked down similar accounts all over Texas and Mexico, but while sightings are many, the answers remain few. What is we're describing is essentially a biological impossibility, Gerhardt said. Why? If there was a bat as tall as a man, his wingspan would have to be 18 feet or more from wingtip to wingtip. It's just not something you could easily make stick.
Fair enough. Yeah.
We may never know if anything visited the heights on that night in 1953. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that it probably wasn't a giant winged bat human creature, but who knows, Norton said, whose voice I've forgotten. But for now, Batman creeps deeper into the shadow of legend, vanishing like a colony of bats into the night sky. But remember, just because we can't see them, it doesn't mean they're not there. It's a great legend and it brings more flavour to the city, Charles said, whose voice
Nice.
I also got. We have been unsuccessful tracing the original eyewitnesses to the strange encounter, and if you have any information about Hilda Walker, Judy Meyer, or Howard Phillips, give us a call on 713-669-1313 Houston.
With an incredible, unlikely state of affairs, you listen to this podcast, by all means, get in
Do
touch.
it. Or just do it anyway, just for a
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah. Just
Just make,
pretend you are. We don't care.
yeah, just
We'll
make it
put you
up.
on air.
So Neil, I'm gonna say that that's that because
Sounds like it.
we need to keep this one a little bit shorter this week, don't we? Because of us having things to do.
It is a weeknight, Chris.
Here's a weeknight, and I am a weeknight on
Yeah.
the game Skyrim, which I need to get back to
Oh,
become a strong
so
knight.
you can become a Dark Knight like the Batman.
I'm just an axe guy now. Just got my knife, got my axe.
Nice.
Tell you what,
That'll
Neil,
get the job done.
it does get the job done. Shield, axe, knife. That's all it's about.
Bosh.
I wasn't I wasn't particularly going to join any groups or anything, Neil. That's the thing. But
Oh, who have you gone for?
I'm going to be joining the Dawn Guard because the thing is, Neil, as you know, I'm very live and let live.
Yeah.
Right. I don't mind. Right. I'm going to be honest with you. If an adult dies to a vampire, the vampire community is a very sensual community, aren't they,
Well, there
Neil?
you go.
And it's
Accidents happen.
well, I would say, it's not the worst way to go,
Yeah.
really. But they've been going after the kiddies. And that's out of order. And I will not have it
Not
around
so
my
much.
around my ass in Riften. So I'm going to join the Dawn Guard. And because we're the absolute governors. Oh, bosh. So yeah, I'm going after the vampires, sorry to say. I'm not
Well,
joining them. I'm not joining them, Neil.
bought it
I'm
on
going to murder
themselves.
them.
Sounds like
I'm
they
going
bought
to
it on
murder them up.
themselves. Yeah.
I think
Thank you for explaining that.
that's all right. I thought I'd let you know.
Yeah.
So spookiness, Neil.
Yeah, it's quite spooky. Something sitting in your tree. You're just out
Yeah.
after a heavy night of mint julep pin.
Bit of shining.
Bit of crystal meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Bit of
you're seeing
lean.
some
Nice bit of
things.
lean in your Sprite
Nice.
can.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm just
All the
having a
party.
soft drink, officer.
Yeah, don't you worry about it.
Don't worry, sir.
Yeah, no, but it would spook you out. Something up the tree, especially it's sort of man-sized and sort of bat-looking. Yeah, I can't quite sort of tell the description. I mean, the disappearing act seems a bit weird as well, but yeah, that would be. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6. I think that's quite spooky.
It kind of depends if you want to add in like all the sort of murders and stuff that the
Yeah,
guys
and then
tied
well, I mean,
into it.
I'm not counting all of the kind of assaults and the murder and stuff because it just feels like they was reaching. But yeah, I'm going with just the initial, in the tray. Yeah, I mean, with the assaults,
You weren't
and that,
convinced by that, Neil.
No, I felt the chain
Strange.
of evidence was slightly weak.
Well, I'm a hook, line, and sinker at this end of the
Oh,
line, I'm
fair
afraid.
enough. Yeah,
So I'm giving it an 8.
nice.
So believability. So this is a tougher one because like there's reports of it happening and it's
They got in the papers. Yeah,
got in
I
the
don't
papers
know.
and stuff. But the fact that these people are untraceable and in those times people could just make stuff up. But I
Yeah,
don't know. So
could be a hoax. You don't
could
know.
be a hoax. I don't know. Um, and also there's a flying paintbrush slash UFO angle, isn't there?
Yeah,
So I think I think that there could have been some kind of peeping Tom slash sort of
might have been something that they
sexual assaulting
misinterpreted it.
person
Yeah,
hanging around. Um, so that's very believable. Do I think
sadly,
it?
all too
Do,
believable.
all too believable. Do I think it was half man, half bat slash UFO?
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Fully on
I
board.
do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, fully on board. So I'm going to give it a 5 for believability now.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4. So it was in a newspaper. That gives it a decent mark. But it's a bit light on details.
It is
So
nice
I'm
on
not.
details, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's not the most outlandish thing we've seen, and it has got in the newspapers. I'll give it a 4.
Cool. All right, now saying that, what did you think of the narrative premise?
Somewhat light here, unlike the real
Mm.
Batman. He's been reinvented many a time, hasn't he?
Yeah, always the same story though.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do his parents' death in an alleyway again. Oh, that's. Oh, I really needed to understand his motivation.
Yeah, I wasn't
that
sure
was
what it was. I wasn't
incredibly
really sure what
compelling.
it was about, and
Yeah,
there was nothing I could look back to tell me either.
nobody
So,
explained. There's perfectly logical reason for doing this. Yeah, no. So yeah, this it's a bit thin on the ground, isn't it? Even the way you stretch out with the extra bits and pieces. It's not a compelling. Maybe the alien thing, possibly if it is that, but no, I'm gonna give it a two. I don't think there's a lot to this. Not a lot
very low
to
now.
sink my teeth into.
Um, so I'm going to give it a little higher, but just because it's old,
Yeah, fair enough.
because it wasn't quite as played out in 1953 or whenever it was. And I don't know, there's a little quirk of the flying, and I quite like that 74-year-old who was also living in the house. He just went to bed, had a look, went to bed. He was quite good. I'd like to know more about him.
Yeah, well, if it focused on him, that might be a different story.
So I'm going to give it a three.
Fair enough.
So not like massively higher.
Yeah,
And reach. So not very big. I think maybe it's known in Houston, but I don't know
I would
much
imagine
much
so.
outside
Yeah,
much outside Houston really. No matter how much ABC News is trying to push it by getting all the
banging
experts
on
in,
about, yeah.
banging, banging,
You've got
banging.
plenty of other stuff to feel proud about, Houston. You don't need this.
You got the Houston Rockets,
Yeah,
got oil.
the Astros, is it? Or was that the LA one? I forget. What's their baseball team called? Is it the Houston Astros?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah. You got
Weren't they in
the
this? Weren't they in the what they call it, the World Series or something?
maybe. I don't know very little about baseball teams.
Yeah. Well, so do I, obviously.
Apart from the list of funny named ones, which I did about 4 series ago.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Don't remember any of them. No, Houston
I think they
Oilers.
might have won it.
I think it's the Oilers,
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
or maybe that's our ice hockey team.
Yeah. No,
Who
that's
knows,
the
eh?
people who work in the oil fields. Let's have a look.
So I don't think it's got a very big reach outside Houston, and Houston is a big city, and there is a bit of a reach through time. So I'm going to give it a 3-0.
And these are Houston Astros. Cool.
Houston Dynamos are a soccer team.
Oh, okay, the MLS. Um, what was this one? Oh, Reach. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a very. I don't think it's a very big one, is it? Maybe, as you say, maybe in Houston. I don't. I have no idea. But yeah, I don't even know how big it'd be in America. It's been around for a while, so that'll give it an extra point for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's still around, so fair enough. Probably got a bit of stickability, but yeah, it's just there's not enough to it either. Because this is the
No,
thing.
it feels like
Sometimes you
there's
see
a
one of those and
dearth of
go, "Oh,
legends
if
because
this one
it's
gets
already.
out," but it's just not that
It's
interesting, and there's not. And they're not still having sightings and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
no.
So it's very much of its time. So I
It's a
can't see it
problem
growing.
with having cities that are about 100 years old. You're not going to have a lot of law there.
Yeah, and because it's somewhere really small as well, then all right, they might try and keep it up. You need something to sort of get people interested. But
Hey, I'll
Houston's
tell you
got
what,
its own issues.
Houston don't need no cryptid money.
Houston don't need no cryptid money. I'll tell
Don't
you
need
that.
no cryptid
Don't
money.
even worry about it. Yeah, so I'm going to give it. Yeah, I'll give it a three.
Three as well. So that gives an overall score of 34. So not
Not too
too
bad.
not too bad.
Not
Thankfully
too
it
bad.
was thankfully it was terrifying.
Yeah. Ooh,
So if you want to like and subscribe and all that, I should have done it earlier, but I don't really care.
might as well, eh?
But yeah,
What's it cost you?
yeah,
Nothing.
yeah, cost you nothing.
Well, it's still poor value for money, but nonetheless,
Yeah,
the business case certainly does not write
I
itself.
mean,
But
it'll cost you something internally.
time, your pride.
Time, your pride,
Yeah,
pride's the big
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Your
pride's the big one.
reputation. You're never getting that back. But
Reputational
let's
damage
face it, you flushed that down the fucking toilet
when
already.
you started listening, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. If anyone gets hold of your Spotify or whatever, you're absolutely screwed.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Algorithm's gonna do you right.
yeah,
Whatever.
God knows what else you listen to.
Oh,
So,
dread to think. Filthy fuck.
so that's it for this week.
We love
Sorry,
you
it's a
really,
little bit shorter.
listeners.
Yeah,
Watch us.
Neil does really. He only insults people that he loves,
Yeah.
which is why
It's the only way I can feel
relationships have been
anything
difficult,
anymore.
haven't
Yeah,
they?
well, just keep pushing people away, Chris.
Yeah, but eventually, if you keep pushing them away,
Well, some days one will come
they
back.
come back round, don't they?
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
keep pushing, they come back round.
It's like a wheel, isn't it? That's how it works.
That's how it works. The wheel of relationships.
Yeah.
Cool. And my wheel of relationships are for you, the viewer. next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.